Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Run and Gun with AJ & Co. Today we're going to be talking about working with brands, how to establish a relationship, creating your content, and then putting it out. So being a creator has a lot more responsibility than a lot of people think. It's not just posting pictures onto Instagram and calling it a day. If you don't have a manager, you take on so much more responsibility as you have to become your own manager. You have to learn the business aspect of things, talking to brands, getting to know the companies, accounting, you have to be your own finance advisor. It's just a lot more responsibility than what you see on Instagram. So today I'm going to be talking about how I'm able to work with brands and how you guys can apply these to your future clients. Step one, and the most important rule I feel like everyone should follow, is to never do it solely for the money. If you have a passion for something and you're doing it because you simply love it, the money will eventually come. If you're doing it for the sake of getting paid, then sorry to break it to you, but it's not gonna happen. And step two, to kind of piggyback off of the first one, is as you start creating content and developing a following, companies will eventually start reaching out to you if they like what they see. And if there's a specific company that you have in mind that you really want to work with. For example, a couple months ago, Andy and I got to go to Nanjing and Suzhou with the tourism board. And how we got to do that was because we attended an event that we heard of through a random email. So we went to the event and we actually met the direct contact of the tourism board. And because we met them in person, we were able to establish a contact and build a relationship with them. And then down the line, we were able to pitch our idea to them and tell them we want to create content for them in Nanjing and Suzhou. And from that point, we were hired to go to China and shoot content for them. And I think that's the most important and effective way to work with brands. You never want to just send a cold email, because if I'm a brand and you sent me an email saying, hey, I want to work with you, I know nothing about you and I see that you just want something out of me. There has to be an exchange or a relationship behind that. And for Annie and I, we always want to get to know the people that we're working with, so that's important to us first. So when working with brands, you're pretty much providing a service to them, and that is something you want to establish within yourself. For me, it's both photo and video, so that's something I can provide on both my YouTube channel and my Instagram. And if you guys don't have a huge following, I would recommend just focusing on your content, producing high quality content in your specific niche that you're putting out, and just creating for the sake of just creating and not for the sake of wanting to get paid, and the opportunities will come. So when I first started, I was doing a lot of free product in exchange for posts or videos, and that's kind of how I got my foot in the door and started getting more and more content on my page. So if you guys are just starting off and you guys have a smaller following and you want to work with brands, you can do that as well and just request free product and in exchange for a review. So the brands that I recently got to work with were Sephora, Uber, and Bobbi Brown. More specifically, for the Uber campaign, I was asked to create social content surrounding the new Uber bike, which came out a couple months ago back in San Francisco, and create a 1-minute cinematic highlights for my Instagram, and also a couple stories showing how to use the Uber bike and how effective it is riding around the city. Before starting any campaign, you're always going to establish the deliverables and also the pay rates. The deliverables can be anywhere between doing one YouTube video, a dedicated video, a mention, or even some Instagram posts or just Instagram stories, and that is the deciding factor between you and the client. And as far as pay goes, it's not black and white. It's up to you to decide how much you think you're valued at. We like to look at it based on our past 3 clients and how much credibility we can give ourselves when working with other clients. So after landing the campaign comes the most important part, and that is creating the content. And this is where you can have fun and throw your own creative flair into it. So what Andy and I like to do is to tailor around the brand. So when I worked with Bobbi Brown, I went to the Bobbi Brown store and shot content around the store. And for my most recent campaign, I did a video for EOS surrounding their new crystal lip balm, and it's infused with avocado oil, coconut oil, sunflower seed oil. And I made sure to implement those ingredients into the video just because I felt that it was important. And not only does it tailor to the brand, but it gives the audience a visual representation of what you're advertising. So that is all for today's video. I hope you guys found it helpful. To wrap up everything I said, because I know it was a lot, what is to, for one, create for the sake of creating and not chasing the money. And two, establishing a contact. If you guys can find a contact on Instagram, that's awesome. If not, try Google, LinkedIn. And when you do find that contact, just get to know the person. At the end of the day, they're people like you. And of course, just creating the content and throwing your own creative flair into it, because at the end of the day, if they're hiring you, of course, they like what they see. And just building that relationship with the brand. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.